Hey guys and gals, this is Cal from Dirty Weasel, and welcome back to the Skyrim Special Edition modding guide. As you can probably imagine, I do tons of mod testing, and one of the mods I have found to be an absolute must for Skyrim is AddItemMenu. Up to this point in time with Skyrim Special Edition, I've been using an early release version of this mod, but now that mod has been officially released by the original author to the Skyrim Special Edition Nexus. We'll be looking at what this mod does, how to use it, and finally installation. Before we begin, there are two prerequisites for this mod to work. Number 1, SKSE64. Because AddItemMenu is an SKSE64 plugin, this one's fairly obvious. Number 2, UI extensions by Expired, one of the creators of SKSE. Also a recent addition to the Skyrim Special Edition Nexus. This mod enables additional menus to be added to your game. AddItemMenu is only one of a number of mods that require this resource in order to work. This video will also detail UI extensions. Let's start by going into game and showing you what AddItemMenu does. Alright, here we are in game. If you've properly installed the mod, go ahead and open up your menu and you go to Items. And the first thing you'll notice is an item in your main inventory here called AddItemMenu SE Pack. Now, when you click on this, you're going to get 4 items. AddItemMenu SE Search. This is an item-based search menu, so you can go ahead and click on it as an item and it'll open up the required menus. You also have AddItemMenu SE. This will search all the ESPs in your load order, and you can go select items from that list. You also have 2 spell tomes, one that's listed as spell tome, AddItemMenu SE. This will activate a shout that you can go ahead and look at the ESPs and then open them up and pick items from the different ESPs. And of course, spell tome, AddItemMenu SE search, and it will have the same function as searching for all the ESPs for a specific keyword. Go ahead and take all 4 items. You don't need to have all 4 items, but you can go ahead and get them, and you can have the option of using either as an item-based search menu or a shout-based search menu. Go ahead and take all 4. Now, when you close your menu, you'll see that the AddItemMenu SE pack has been removed. That's because we took all items out of it. Open up your menu again and go back to items. And once again, you'll see the 4 items, the 2 item-based ones and the 2 spell-based ones. The ones we're going to cover first are the spell-based ones. Go ahead and use both of these tomes. Now, when doing that, you've now got inside of magic, under shouts, you now have those 2 powers, and you can equip them as necessary. We'll first cover the AddItemMenu SE. Let's go ahead and equip that one and use our shout. Now in this, you can see all the different ESPs and ESMs that are included in your game. It is reading it directly from your mod list. And you can click on any of these to see any of the weapons or items of any type that are included therein. So we'll just click on immersive weapons, and you'll get a list of all the different weapons that are included in the ESP. And you can just go through and pick which ones you want, and this is very effective for mod testing to see if you're having any issues with textures or anything else. But you can go ahead and see the item that you want to get, and let's just select one. This arming sword is fine. Select it, and you'll notice that it has left the menu. You can only select each item once each time you open the list that you want to pick from. So if you were to go back in, go back to immersive weapons, the arming sword will be back. So you can have it again if you want to select it again. Now, when you go through and you select on your magic and select the AddItemMenu SE search, equip that shout and use it, you'll get a search bar, and you can put in anything you want. I'm just going to put in gold and press accept. And it will search through all of the different ESPs in your entire load order for any items that have that keyword that you put into the search function. It can be gold items, it could be just gold. I mean, just whatever that is. That is probably an item that was named in one of the ESPs that I have. It's just labeled as gold. It could be anything. But you can go ahead and do the same thing and select the items from this list. Now, for the item-based ones, it's the same thing. Go into your items, and you can then select the item-based lookup and click on the item itself, and it will once again open up the ESPs that you can search from. And the same thing goes with AddItemMenu SE search. It will once again open up a keyword search and do the same thing. Just put in gold and it will pull up every item listed in all of your different ESPs for the keyword gold. And it could be just about anything, as I showed you before. And that's all there is to it. All right, here we are back at our desktop, and let's go take a look at AddItemMenu on the Nexus. And you can see it is mod number 17563, and it was added to the Skyrim Nexus on May 26. So this is a relatively new add-on for the Skyrim Nexus, even though it kind of existed in a form on the original Nexus. It is done by mod author Toawat, who is the original mod author for AddItemMenu in original Skyrim. You can see exactly what we talked about what this mod is, and you download an armor mod. You want to go take a look at it? You can. You can see them in the particular mod's ESP, and you can also have a search menu. And you can see the requirements that we talked about with SKSE 64 and UI extensions. If you want to go through this and read all this, you can, but you just saw me use it, and there's actually an old video that I had for the original 2016 Skyrim modding guide on here. But I'll contact Toawat and tell him to switch this out. I got something new for you. Let's go ahead and go over to our files. You will see AddItemMenu SE 101. It is version 1.0.1, and you can download that with Manager, and it's already inside of my mod organizer too. Now, obviously, he says there is a requirement for UI extensions, and we will go take a look at that mod as well. UI extensions by Expired, who is one of the creators and workers on the SKSE 64 project, is mod number 17561 on the Skyrim Special Edition Nexus. It was added May 26, oddly enough, the same date that AddItemMenu was added. Very interesting. And you can see it adds various custom menus to Skyrim for modder use. And it's not just for modders, it's for mod users. Of course, it also requires SKSE 64 2.0.7 or greater, and we already have that because we know we need it for AddItemMenu. You can see kind of what it does, and it adds new menus into your game. When I clicked on requirements, it only really showed AddItemMenu as one of the mods that use this resource. So I went back and I looked up the original UI extensions over on the Skyrim Nexus. If you're curious, it's 57046, and clicked on requirements. And you can see all the mods that use this resource. So there's quite a few on the old Skyrim that used UI extensions. We're just going to close that window down. And we will go back. And the thing that we're going to need for this under files is UI extensions version 1.2.0. And go ahead and download that with Manager. And of course, as I said, I have that in my mod organizer too. Let's install the prerequisites first. We talked about needing SKSE 64. Of course, I have it installed, and I have the scripts installed properly, and they're near the top of my load order, or my priority pane right here. When we install UI extensions, go ahead and double click to install, and you'll see UI extensions. That's a fine name, and you click manual. You'll have a UI extensions BSA and a UI extensions.esp, and that's all you're going to get. Inside the BSA is all the scripts and other goodness that Expired's built into it. Looks good, go ahead and press OK. It's going to be down at the bottom. Go ahead and click on it, and you're going to slide it all the way up. And in this case, because I consider this a resource, even though it's listed as a UI, I have a tendency to put it right near Papyrus Util SE. And that's going to be how I kind of want to see it, because I want those scripts running before any mods that may use it will come after it. So that's how I want to have this. UI extensions, and then the mods that will use it are after it. In this case, it's about priority 9 on plugins, and we'll just leave it at the bottom for right now. Let's go download or install AddItemMenu SE. AddItemMenu, double click to install. AddItemMenu, the Ultimate Mod Explorer. Click manual, that's a fine name. And you have interface scripts SKSE. Remember, we said this is an SKSE plugin. Source, AddItemMenu se.esp, and a readme jaw.txt, and press OK. And once again, it's going to be at the bottom of the list. I'm going to go ahead and slide it up as well. In this case, it is listed as visuals, but I'm going to call it a UI. So I'm going to place it below Sky UI. But you'll notice that with either of these mods, both the UI extensions and AddItemMenu, there are no conflicts. Of course, UI extensions has a BSA, so you won't see any conflicts here. But in your archives, you'll see where it's loaded is pretty much close at the top. For plugins on this, you now have UI extensions and AddItemMenu SE, both ESPs. I would say go ahead and let Loot handle this. It's listed as Loot too, but you get it. So just go ahead and run Loot and let Loot figure out where to put it. Loot's not going to really care too much about what it does with things. You can see it put AddItemMenu at 106, but in all reality, it could be much higher up. As far as the UI extensions, it ended up at 105, but both of these could be much higher up in your load order. But in all reality, if you're not using Loot, you'll know where to put this because I trust you to use SSE Edit to determine where they need to go. There are very few conflicts with either of these two mods, and the load order should be appropriate. They are properly installed, and you just have to remember to run SKSE when you run these mods. So there you have it, guys. It is all set and installed. You have UI extensions, you have AddItemMenu, and that should be it. Of course, I'm going to add the caveat is this is not for cheating. This is for testing of mods, and this is to get specific items that you want to see in action. So just have fun with it. Don't abuse it. My name's Cal. I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.